March is National Disabilities Awareness Month, and advocates launching a new digital platform to help parents of children with disabilities. We're joined tonight by Edward Matthews, CEO of Adapt Community Network, to tell us all about it. Mr. Matthews, good to see you. So this new digital platform is free, and it's called Start Here. Tell us how it works.
Well, Start Here is aimed at parents of very young children who, when they first are diagnosed, they always find that, where do I turn, what do I do, and who do I talk to? So this is really meant to be a guide for them to be advocates for their own children, them to find the best resources in their own communities to be able to help them, and to really understand the questions and the people that they need to ask and the people that they need to ask them to, in order to be able to best help their child through a variety of disabilities. We try to go from, any of the developmental disabilities, which are a multitude, and go through various stages and things that they can do to be able to become real champions and advocates for their children, as opposed to, being passive about it and finding out, what can I do, or being just sort of nervous about what their alternatives are. So this is really meant, and we're in the incipient stages where we're just doing this with our national partners, actually, at United Cerebral Palsy, to be able to get this out through the country, and so that when people have questions, they will be able to ask them of their local UCP affiliate and chapter, and be able to do things and find resources in their own community to be able to help them.
Sure. So
that's really the point of it, and we'll be getting to other things as we move along and grow it out.
Yeah, as you know, Mr. Matthews, many in the educational community tonight, they're deeply concerned with how the pandemic affected children with developmental disabilities. What have you learned over the last 2 years?
Well, in our own agency, our agency provides early childhood services to over 1,100 children and their families below the age of 5. And while we were able to get technology to everybody so that they could help their children at home with help from our teachers and the clinicians, it's very, very difficult to program remotely for children that age. Their attention span is little, and parents do not have the training or the ability to stick with it for 3 and 4 hours a day. So we did the best we could, but there was no question that children who would be hitting milestones now from 2020 to 2021 had really fallen behind. But they're catching up. But at the same time, that almost 2-year period where there was on again, off again schools, and if there was an outbreak at all of COVID in the school, those children in that classroom or in that area had to stay home and quarantine. This created havoc for parents. It created havoc for children. And it created a real problem for all of our teachers and clinicians to be able to continue the services that they were getting all the time.
Sure, it was all the way around. It wasn't easy for anyone. And for parents with children who have disabilities, it can be pretty overwhelming, as you just described. Why is it important for parents and caregivers to speak up, and really, sometimes you have to really fight for your children?
The system is large, and in New York City, there are literally hundreds of thousands of kids with special needs, and there are over 1 million school children. So it's very important for parents to make their kids' needs known. Teachers and clinicians are ready to help, but the system is very large. The amount of bureaucracy is very large, and it can be intimidating for parents, so that they really have to stick with it, know the questions to ask and who to ask them to, and continue to fight for the rights of their children. Education and therapeutic services for kids is a right. And, I think a lot of school districts do the best they can, but they're overwhelmed by numbers. So parents really have to speak up. And it's always true that the loudest the loudest people get the wheels greased better. But at the same time, I think that, while everybody tries, I think the parents who really know what they want can articulate what they want and fight for their kids' rights, get the best service.
Absolutely. And by the way, congrats on the 75th anniversary of ADAPT. There was a major celebration last night, and you received a major award. Edward Matthews, CEO of ADAPT Community Network, thanks for your time tonight. And that brings